Hey guys, Auntie, welcome to Earth Eve Tarot. Good afternoon, beautiful people, beautiful souls, and weirdos alike. Step on in, we're going to do a reading. Before I get started, okay, I'm kind of losing my voice. We're having extreme wildfires in Ontario right now, and the air is quite thick. I might have to clear my throat a lot. I might have to stop for water. All right, but I can already feel my throat getting kind of choked up here. So you guys know me. I am going to follow the energies where they may. I'm going to keep it general today, okay? Whatever comes up, comes up. You guys know me. I will follow the energies wherever they take me. If it goes down the avenue of love, self-improvement, or just getting connected to ourselves, okay? So let's get some energy surrounding the collective at this time. Energy surrounding the collective at this time. Okay. I'm so sorry, guys. Excuse me. 10 of Wands and the Lovers. Love should not be this hard. No, it shouldn't. Okay, I feel like this is going to be oh, okay. The Tower. All right. I was about to just say, it feels like you're putting the burden down. The burden is being put down, okay? More on the energy surrounding the collective at this time. More energy surrounding the collective at this time. It's too many. More energy to complement the Lovers, the Tower, the 10 of Wands. A little more context. Okay. The Emperor. I want one more. One more. What's this? Okay, are we restoring balance to our kingdom, collective? That's what it feels like. And I feel like, honestly, this Emperor is you. This Emperor is you. You've recognized, okay, that the Tower is imploding, essentially, okay? And the need to bring balance and structure back to a situation is important. But what I love about this so far, okay, is an Emperor will look at a 10 of Wands and be like, holy shit, my tower's falling. Well, I've got all of this wood, right? I got all of this wood. I've got all of these materials. I've got all of this experience. And although there is a feeling of burden with the 10 of Wands, there's also this positive attitude of turning that 10 of Wands into resources, okay? You know what you got. You know what you're worth. You've been carrying this sack of wood for a long time. All right? And I think you're ready to put it down and start utilizing the resources that you have to rebuild structure for your tower. Okay? Excuse me. Sorry, guys. All right. Let's talk about the Tower. Let's just, honestly, because I just want to get it out of the way. Let's get the nitty-gritty shit out of the way and then we'll move on, okay? What is this Tower about? What is the Tower about right now? What is the Tower about? More on the Tower. Oh, the Empress. Look at that. Okay. I kind of enjoy this. Hold on. Let me just get a couple more. Okay, the 3 of Cups. Interesting. More. I need some more. There's just a bunch of stuff going on in my head right now. Bunch of stuff going on up in there. Okay, this came out in reverse. Have we chosen not to fight for something anymore that no longer serves us? This is recognizing our self-worth. Okay, you're like, I choose joy. I choose peace. Okay, I got myself. Maybe I got my small circle of friends, whatever it may be. But suddenly you've realized that this burden is no longer worth it, nor is it worth your energy. Okay, and walking away with it. Let's just get a little bit more. That's way too many. Although, oh yeah, okay, maybe I do want to look at it. Hold on. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I absolutely do. Look, you know, I used to be not the person who would take a flop all the time, but if it's relevant, it's relevant. All right, we got the 3 of Wands here. Okay, 3 of Pentacles. Judgment, and the Emperor again. What's that saying? Take me as I am or watch me as I go. Sorry guys, take me as I am or watch me as I go. And I bet you look real good walking away. I bet you look so good walking away, collective. I bet so. Okay? This is taking ownership of your energy back. All right? Stepping up into your masculine and feminine for sure. 100%. And I very much like it. You are bringing stability to this tower. You know that it has to come down, but it's not a crash and burn situation. I see the Emperor stepping in and going, hold on. We need a game plan here before this tower falls. Yes, the tower can come down, absolutely. But we need a demolition plan, right? That's what this feels like to me. Let's look at the Lover's card. We don't have time for this kind of nonsense, right? There is the Five of Wands again, right? Hold on. Oh dear. Five of Wands. Take me as I am or watch me as I go. Since you have so many people from your Rolodex to choose from, right? Judgment. Look, Judgment is here as well. Judgment is here as well. Right? You know your worth. And you're okay with letting people take their own path and walking away in a separate direction. That's what this feels like. Actually, let's just pull the two Judgment cards out. Let's just pull those out. Side quest. All right. More on this Lovers. Okay. Ten of Swords. Yeah, I think, okay, you have decided to pull these swords out of your back. All right. You're like, those don't belong there. Yeah, it hurt. Right? But there is a sunrise upon the horizon here. Absolutely. More with this. What is this? The Six of Cups, the Four of Swords, and the Four of Cups. Again, these fours are very much about structure and bringing stability back to a situation where there really was no stability. Okay? There was no stability. More on the Lover's card here. What's this on the floor? Okay. Queen of Wands. This is the understanding and knowing, okay, that you are a Queen of Wands, okay? You're just not a Queen of Wands for a King of Wands who's me, right? This part of you exists, but in order to have the Queen of Wands out of you, there needs to be an understanding that you are an empress and emperor before all things. Before all things. I see you leading yourself out of this situation. Leading yourself out of it. And not letting it kill your light. Okay? Definitely exploring new options now. It's very liberating. It's very liberating. Okay? More on this. Hold on. The Wheel of Fortune. Okay? Look, you took a chance, okay? And you took a risk. And what's that saying? Take the risk or lose the chance. So don't be too hard on yourself about it, right? Well, this may have been a disappointing situation. You took the risk. You took the risk because you didn't want to lose the chance. And that's okay. That's okay. You would miss out on so much if you never took a risk once in a while. Am I right? Right? More on the Lovers. Okay? But again, Two of Swords, you're not about to sit there idle. You're like, I agree. We agree to disagree. All right? Neutrality all the way. Guiding yourself out of this situation. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's look at the Ten of Wands and what the burden was. What was the burden? The Ace of Cups. Right? constantly pouring into somebody else's cup while they got a lid on it, right? That's what it feels like. The Nine of Wands, right? You're liberating yourself mentally from this. Absolutely. You're like, I have spent enough time pouring myself in to somebody who does not want to be poured into. I've come with my Ten of Wands. I've come with my resources. And I feel like deep down, you probably would have gone to the ends of the earth for this person. All right? But again, if somebody doesn't want our help or want what we have to offer, right? Right. Understanding that a page is a page. This energy seems to be rolling on, okay? And it must be because the collective is still in assessment about it, right? Like we don't just get over things that quickly. Yes, we can have a positive mindset and we can move forward and that's great, but that does not mean that we're not still assessing the situation in our minds. Okay. I think at some point you even tried to meet this person on their level. I think you did. Okay. But you came in as a Page of Pentacles to try and, to try and get on their level. Like you tried to explain things in a way that would be easy for them to understand. You tried to show them things in a way that would be easy for them to understand. That's the Page of Pentacles. Okay. But if somebody does not have the capability of understanding, then your words are falling on deaf ears, right? Words are falling on deaf ears. 1144. More on this. I find the Page of Pentacles to be the most responsible page out of all the pages. They're like the good student. You know what I mean? The A+ student. The one who takes note and pays attention to everything. And perhaps in many ways, you in a way tried to chameleon into this Page of Pentacles so that it was easier to identify with this other individual who is all the other pages. But at the end of the day, the Page of Pentacles is kind of like the lone wolf. Nobody really understands the Page of Pentacles. They're not particularly fun. They're the page that if you ask them when they're little, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they say, I want to be an adult. That's the Page of Pentacles, right? That's the Page of Pentacles. They still have a fresh set of eyes for life, okay? And they see things in different ways that other people don't. But when it comes to bonding with the other pages, they're kind of like the loner a little bit, A little bit. Nobody really understands the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles is far too focused and, far too concerned with taking notes and keeping receipts and being a good student, right? Not the most fun page, but look, it was with good intent. The King of Cups is here. I think you really, really did do everything in your power to understand this other individual. Truly, you were patient, you were observant, you were non-critical, you were non-judgmental, right? Excuse me. More on this King of Cups here. More on the King of Cups in association with the Ten of Wands. Hold on. It's on the floor. It must be important. Okay. Four of Swords. I think you decided that your heart needed a break. Absolutely. Four of Swords. Like you really did try to give somebody safe space, and I think now you're giving yourself safe space. Right? Three of Wands. Absolutely. Okay? You're like, I've given you all the safe space in the world and I've never felt more unsafe myself. Right? And so I bid you adieu with this Three of Wands. I love the Three of Wands because the Three of Wands suggests a positive attitude and movement forward. 100%. And I like that. I like it a lot. Right? Five of Wands again. Look. Look. Okay? Where is it? Where is it? I know it's here. Okay? Page of Pentacles, Five of Wands twice. Okay? Sorry guys, one sec. So the Page of Pentacles is really not one for crowds, right? 2 is company, 3 is a party. Not one for crowds. And if anything, a Page of Pentacles really does their best to try and protect themselves from the opinions of others. They're free thinking on their own. They don't like to be told what to do. They don't like things suggested to them. They're like, I can do this myself. Okay? I don't need you. I don't need you. I can do this myself. Honestly, all of these people, this Rolodex of people gives me anxiety, right? That's not a Page of Pentacles. And as much as you try to identify with this individual in their page state, a Page of Pentacles is still a Page of Pentacles and sees the other pages the way that they do, right? Let's look at this. Let's look at this Page of Pentacles and 5 of Wands twice. Let's look at this. Like, if you were to stick a Page of Pentacles into this 5 of Wands situation here, you know, the Page of Pentacles stands off to the side, you know, kind of like twiddling their fingers with their arms crossed going, you're all idiots. You're all idiots. What are you doing? Like, what are you talking about? First of all, at that point doesn't even make sense. You know, like that's the Page of Pentacles. They protect themselves from this kind of energy. They don't go looking for a fight. They're all about protecting their peace. That's what they're about. All about protecting their peace. More on this. More on this. This Page of Pentacles and this 5 of Wands. Right, okay? Like, as much as you tried to identify and try to be the Page of Pentacles for this other individual as much as you could, the fact is, look, the motherly instincts in you can't just, it just overrides it. You see it for what it is. Okay, you can't get much past a mother mentality. Mom knows all. And I know mom doesn't really know all. Okay, but it's just a saying, like, you can't get nothing by mom. You can't pull the wool over mom's eyes. And I think in this situation, you kind of stepped into your authority and said, we're not doing this. We're absolutely not doing this. The devil is here. Okay, as is the 8 of Swords. As is the 8 of Swords. Okay, that tells me that perhaps you spent time attached just a little bit too long. You know, maybe what should have been clear from the get-go, you're like, no, I want to see the good in this situation, right? Right? A Queen of Pentacles is always going to try and look for the good in everybody. And that's, excuse me, part of her devil energy, okay? Is that can kind of come and nip her in the bud a bit. She sits in this 8 of Swords state going, well, hold on, no, let's observe a little more. Let's trust that everybody has good intentions. And the fact is they don't, okay? And that is the devil energy for you. Or for the Queen of Pentacles. More on this. Right. You wanted to see the good in this person. Look, there's our King of Wands. There's our me, right? Self-absorbed individual. You're like, nah, there's got to be more to them than that. And you know what? You put in the good effort. You put in the good effort to understand this person, okay? Truly wanting to believe that they would, I don't know, grow up, change, see their own ways. And I see you standing there like a disappointed mother going, ugh, I expected more of you, you know? And that's fair. That's totally fair. I am losing my voice. Oh my God. That is 100% fair. This is not a bad quality to have. It is not a bad quality to have to want to see the good in everybody. All right. But I think now there has been this realization on your part that you need to know when to step out of your head and realize that, you know, a King of Wands is still a King of Wands, especially when surrounded by pages. Am I right? Right. Okay. Let's talk about the Emperor here. Let's talk about the Emperor here. Let's just talk about it. I'm so sorry, guys. The air is so thick here. I got all my windows closed and it's still coming in the house. All right, so the Emperor, right? Death, right? No sense in beating a dead horse. It's time to let sleeping dogs lie. Am I right? That's what this death card is for me. No sense in beating a dead horse about this. No sense. The Emperor understands and realizes that. Right? The Emperor understands that. Absolutely. I do want to pull the Tower out of here just one more time, just so I can see it, because I feel like I want to come back to it at some point here. Just one second. More on the Emperor. Again, the Page of Pentacles. Again. I feel like this Page of Pentacles really does speak to your inner innocence. Okay? That's what it feels like to me. That yes, you are an emperor, okay? But you don't like to sit in your emperor state all the time. Okay? You're soft. You're curious. You care. All right? There's an acknowledgement about this. Don't let that part of you die. Keep that part of you alive. Just refine it. Refine it. You're not naive. Okay? And the Page of Pentacles, out of all the pages, is definitely not naive. They're curious. They stand there with their clipboard and their questionnaire and they're observing constantly what's going on. All right? Don't lose that. It's okay to still be a Page of Pentacles on the inside. It's this innocent part of you, okay, that is pure and that actually wants to see the good in people and the good intent in others, right? Look, King of Pentacles. This is all about refining this part of yourself, okay? The thing about the Page of Pentacles too, okay, like I said, they're a bit of a loner. They have a hard time fitting in, all right? And the King of Pentacles coming in is saying you don't have to try to fit in where you don't belong. You are a circle, Page of Pentacles. You are the most efficient shape of all the shapes. And not everyone's going to realize that about you. Okay? It's about refining that you don't need to fit into everywhere and not everyone is for you. And you are definitely not for everybody. Okay? Definitely not for everybody. Well, you have been so gracious and so lenient, okay, in allowing others safe space to make their own decisions and their safe space to evolve. Okay? You're now coming up, like you're a lot more grounded about this. Okay? You've had your motherly ways about this situation and really wanted to see the good in people and no one was listening. Well, Dad's on the scene now, right? Dad's going to bring groundedness to the situation. I say Dad, right? But like it's giving Dad energy, right? Dad's going to come in and he's the one who's like, nope. You know, as much as you want to see the good in everybody, I got to kind of come in here and I got to keep you grounded in this situation before you float away. But you're doing this internally yourself. I love it. Look, we got a little family here. Look. All of the pentacles inside you, your youth, your masculine, your feminine, you're learning to balance them all together. Okay? You're learning to balance them, and I kind of really enjoy it. I enjoy it very much. Yes, I do. More on this. Right? Internal wisdom. Right? Look. The Hermit. You know that when the light that you have to offer others is not being accepted, you have enough light to guide yourself and others. Okay, but if somebody wants to remain in the dark, look at the dark background around this card with the King of Wands. If someone wants to remain in the dark, let them. Let them. I'm very much a let them person. Very much. Absolutely let them. More on this Emperor card here. More on the Emperor card. More on the Emperor card. Yep. Look at you. fiercely defending the decision you've made with the Seven of Wands and the Two of Cups. You're like, I choose me above all things, above everything, right? And I feel like there's this inner knowing that it's not over, okay? And you're not about to let one individual with their Rolodex of people ruin how you connect with others. One person's wrongdoings, you know, or negligence, you're not going to let it affect you moving forward. You're not going to take that sorry guys, you're not going to take that energy and imprint it onto other people. Don't lose the curious, youthful side of you that wants to see the good in people. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And I love that this is a refinement. Okay, that's what this person is teaching you. As careless as they are helping you refine yourself. Refine the better qualities about you. Let's look at the Four of Wands. Let's look at that. Sorry, guys. Let's look at that. Right, okay? Ace of Swords is here over the Four of Wands. You're like, I choose stability and I'm going to celebrate myself. I celebrate me. Am I right? Right, you're defending your stability and your structure fiercely now. Sorry, something fell on the floor here. Hold on. Defending it, right? Ten of Swords. Okay, I feel like you're at a point now. A Hermit's on the bottom of the deck and I will accept it. You are manifesting yourself here with the Magician. You're manifesting yourself out of this situation. Okay, and you're not prepared to fight dirty with people. It's almost like you're leaving this person to fight with themselves. All right. And if I'm going to be real, it's like a constant battle. It's because they are constantly poisoning their own well all the time with the Five of Wands. Not healthy. And if I'm going to be honest, not respectful. Not respectful. Okay. Let's look at Judgment over here. Judgment. We have Judgment twice. Okay, let's look at this. Judgment. Let's just get some closing messages on this. Four of Pentacles. You're right. Shop's closed. All right, you're now being a lot more discerning. You're like, I have so much to give, but you are not going to treat me like a resource. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Look. Oh, that was flipped up and I didn't even see it. Look, all the love in the world to give. Okay? I really wish the best for you, but you are not going to treat me like a resource. You know? You're not going to pick up the phone and call me every time you're bored. All right? Whatever it is that makes you feel like a resource to this person. Okay? That's not friendship. Absolutely not friendship. Not friendship. What is this? I just want to decide if I want to read these upright or in reverse. Because they did fall out in reverse. You know what? I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. If they're meant to come up again, they will. Okay? Let's just pull again. Yeah, I'm that reader. I'll put cards back in the deck. Don't care. If it's not relevant, it's not relevant. Right? Oh, look! I guess it was relevant. I guess it was relevant. All right? All right. More on it. What about your wish fulfillment? What about your wish fulfillment? Possibly just wishing better for yourself. Wish fulfillment. The Hanged Man. Again, I think you've cut yourself down from this situation. Okay. The Five of Pentacles. Hold on, guys. Hold on. What is... Oh, that is way... Hold on. Am I going to look at... It's a lot of freaking cards. No, that is way, way, way too many. We're not going to do that. I'm curious about this. I'm a little stumped on this. Hold on. The High Priestess, okay? I think if I'm going to be honest, okay, this Nine of Cups, which did come out in reverse originally, okay, you recognize that this person's wish fulfillment, you're not in the equation, all right? And it's giving let them energy. Absolutely let them, okay? In pursuit of their own happiness, you're not about to be hung up in this situation, okay? There's the door. Absolutely, there's the door. The High Priestess, right? Ace of Cups, you came with noble intentions, and your heart is still full. Your heart is still full. What's this? That's too many. Too many. The High Priestess here with the Ace of Cups and Judgment. Yeah. Okay. There's this understanding now that this person didn't see a good thing when they had it. The Four of Cups. They don't want a banana bread baddie? Fine. You'll eat banana bread by yourself. Bring it over here. We'll eat it together. Do you guys want to eat banana bread? I want to eat banana bread. All right, the Wheel of Fortune and Ace of Pentacles. Look, if this person wants to continue doing what they're doing, right? They're just like a hamster on a hamster wheel in pursuit of their wish fulfillment, thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. I bid you adieu, good day. Okay, collective? Off you go, right? Off you go. And may your adventures, take you somewhere. That's what it feels like to me. Good day. All right, collective, that is your reading. If this resonated for you, help a girl grow. Like, share, subscribe, share with your friends. Come on over. We'll have coffee and banana bread. All right. And thank you so much for being here. Okay. I really do hope that this energy passes for us soon. I think it's always great when we take time and assess, and it's never easy to let these things go. But for you, me, and Dupree, I hope that this energy passes for us all soon. Okay. Take care.